In this Hatha Flow class, we're going to be focusing on balances. Balances are obviously fantastic at improving our core strength, but they're also pretty great at building confidence in our physical ability, which becomes a lot more important as we get older. Balances are one of these aspects of yoga that can take a lot of practice. The perfecting the posture isn't actually just down to pure strength, it's down to focus as well. So you may find on some days you may be able to balance for 4 or 5 breaths, and other days you might be wobbling from the get-go. So again, the important thing to remember is actually just have a bit of fun with them. Just play around with them, practice in your own time as well. But otherwise, just enjoy the session and see how you go. So we're going to start in a child's pose today. So if you just get down onto your mat, separating the knees nice and wide. If you feel that your knees or your quads were a little bit tight this morning, you don't necessarily need to feel that you take the hips all the way down to the heels. If you actually want to put another rolled up mat or a pillow between the back of the knees and the thighs, you can also do it that way. Or if you're feeling comfortable kneeling, you can then just kind of come forward into your child's pose. So stretching the arms out in front. Keep the head and the chest raised for a moment as you push the mat forward, pushing the hips all the way back. And then once you feel that you've got a nice long spine and extended arms out of the shoulder socket, you can then sort of turn the head towards the floor, taking the forehead to the mat. Just start to connect your mind to your breath. So you're bringing your mind into the present moment through your breath. Feeling the body open up through its stretch with the inhale. And allow the body to soften into the posture with the exhale. Start to reach the fingers further away, take the hips further back, press the hips closer towards the heels. Take one last big stretch with an inhale, and then as you exhale, just let the arms soften, the elbows come down to the ground and the forearms come down to the ground. Let the spine round slightly and just come into a more relaxed child's pose. Really tune into the rhythm of your breath. Feel the expansion of the ribcage over the spine as you're drawing the breath into the lungs. Feel the muscles relax through the exhale. Deepening the breath, slowing the breath down. Observing every stage of the breath with your mind. So noticing the start of the inhale, the filling of the lungs. Notice the pause between the inhale and exhale, and then feel the body soften as the air is escaping out of the lungs. Notice the pause between the exhale and inhale, and just continue following the rhythm of your breath with your mind. On your next inhale, start to stretch the arms out in front, come up to the fingertips, lift the elbows away from the ground, get a big stretch, and again as you exhale, just let the arms soften. Same thing again with the inhale, stretch the arms forward, push the hips back, lift the elbows high, and exhale as you let the arms soften. Start to pull the hands back towards the shoulders. And when the hands come just in front of the knees, start to push the hands into the ground as you lift the body up, so you're coming onto all fours. Walk the hands forward that little bit so they're underneath your shoulders, and bring the knees back in so they're in line with the hips. So the knees should be directly underneath the hips, the hands directly underneath the shoulders. On your next inhale, take your right arm off the ground and the left leg. Have the arm level with the shoulder and the leg level with the hip. So you're coming into your first balance. You're stretching the fingers of the right hand away from the body. Likewise, you're doing the same with the left set of toes. Pull the core muscles in towards the spine. On your next inhale, raise the arm and the leg a bit higher and lift the eyes to look forward. As you exhale, bring the arms level to the shoulder, the leg level to the hip, and turn the eyes towards the ground. Inhaling, lift the arm and the leg and the eyes. Exhale, bring the arm and the leg level with the back. One more time, lifting high. And as you exhale, this time bringing the hand and the knee all the way down to the mat. Take one full breath. And then on your next inhale, you're extending the left arm and the right leg, again, just level with the back. Holding here, stretching the fingertips of the left hand and the toes away from the body. And then on your next inhale, you're raising the eyes, the arm, the leg. Exhale, bring everything level with the spine again. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale as you raise, and this time as you exhale, you bring the hand and the knee back down to the mat. Tucking your toes, send the hips back towards the heels and stretch the arms further out in front. You're pushing the mat away as you press those hips back. And then as you inhale, start to lift the knees off the ground. Coming up into your first downward dog, you may need to lengthen the stride slightly, taking the feet further away from the hands. Spreading the fingers as wide apart as you can take them. Getting used to bearing the weight through the arms. Turn the eyes of the elbows towards the front of your mat. Start to lift the hips high. So you're pulling your stomach muscles in towards the spine as you lift your hips high. You're lowering the forehead a bit closer to the floor and then pressing the heels down towards the ground. Start to bring a little bit of movement into the legs. So you're starting to stretch the calf muscles. Maybe starting to feel a stretch along the outer edge of the thighs as you twist into the waist. And then coming into stillness in your downward dog. Lift the hips high, send them as far back as you can take them. At any point that your arms start to get tired, you can simply just lower the knees down to the ground, maybe even taking the elbows down to the ground to take the tension out of the elbows. Move your left foot over into the centre of your mat slightly. So you're taking your weight into the two of your hands and that left foot. And as you inhale, start to raise the right leg off the ground. So you're coming into another balance. You're coming into your three-legged downward dog. As you take the toes of the right foot all the way up towards the ceiling. As you're doing this, you're lowering the left heel further towards the floor. You're lifting that foot all the way up high. Take one more inhale, and then exhale as you start to lower that right leg down to the ground. Placing the foot back on the mat, moving the left foot out to the side a bit so both feet come in line with your hips again. Lift the hips high, big inhale, and then as you exhale, come down onto your knees, untuck your toes, come into a child's pose, let your arms relax, so let the elbows bend, draw the hands back closer to the head. If there's any tension in the wrist, just circle the wrist slightly one way and then the other. You might even want to steeple the fingers and press the fingers against each other just to release that tension through the wrist joint. Bring your focus back onto your breath again. Release the tension through your exhale. Inhale, stretch those arms forward. Spread the fingers wide. Lifting the hips away from the heels, tuck the toes, send the hips back. Take a deep exhale. And as you inhale, lift up into your downward dog again. Maybe adjusting your stride slightly if you need. Turn the eyes of the elbow towards the front of the mat. So you're getting a shoulder rotation. You're lifting your hips high, pressing them back. Bring your focus back onto your breath. And then start to bring that right foot into the centre of the mat. So you're bearing your weight over your hands and that one foot to your right foot. And then when you're ready, big inhales, you lift the left foot high. Stretch that leg out straight behind. The left hip's coming way higher than the right. You're pushing the mat forward to try and help lift that leg even higher. Lifting that leg all the way up as you press the right heel closer to the floor. Feel the strength increasing through the arms. If your wrists are beginning to hurt, start to press your fingertips down into the ground even more to take the pressure away from the wrist. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, start to lower the left leg down. Separating the feet so the feet come in line with the hips. One big inhale as you push the hips back, push the mat forward with the hands, and then again exhale, lower the knees down to the mat. Just keep the knees in line with the hips. Push the hips down towards the heels as you stretch the arms forward, and then as you exhale, just let the elbows bend, draw the hands back towards the head. Again, if you need to circle the wrists or steeple the fingers and press the fingers against each other, just take care of the wrist for a few moments. And next inhale, stretch those arms out. Lift the hips away from the heels. Exhale as you press your hips back the way, and then lift with the inhale, coming up into your downward dog. Lift the hips high, press the head close to the floor, push the mat forward. Take 2 full breaths here. And then on your next inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Start to walk the feet forward towards your hands. As you come to the front of the mat, take the crown of the head towards the floor. Have a gentle bend in your knees. Take an exhale. And then sweeping the arms to the side. Big inhale, lift the head and the chest. Send them forward as you start to rise up. You're taking the arms all the way up over the head, extending through the waist and the spine. Big exhale as you bring the arms down to the side. As you're inhaling, you're bringing the hands up in front of the heart, pressing the shoulders back. As you exhale, drop the chin to the chest, let your eyes close. We're coming into our next balance now, so inhaling, lift the head or lift the chin so it's parallel to the floor. We're going to come into a tree balance, so you can either, in fact for now, just take the hands onto the hips. Mark out a spot at your level of your eyes out in front of you that you can hold your gaze. You're going to shift your weight over your left leg, take a gentle bend into that left knee and then lock the thigh so that leg's nice and strong. And then you're going to lift the right foot off your mat, turn the knee out to the side and then either place the foot against the ankle, raising it perhaps a little bit higher, again pressing it into the calf. If you feel that you can raise the foot even higher, make sure that you're not pressing it into the kneecap. So if you want to raise it higher than the calf, you're then lifting it up, maybe using your hand to help place it up into your thigh or up into your inner groin. And then you're pressing that right knee back. So it can be into the ankle, into the calf, or then above the knee into the thigh or all the way up into the groin. And then you're pushing that knee back the way. Hands are on the hips for the moment. Lift the chest up away from the belly button. If you find that you're wobbling, it's fine. Just keep putting the foot down at any time. Maybe raise the foot a little bit less high. Focus more on pushing the knee to open. Bring your focus back onto your breath. Keep gazing at that spot in front of you. If you feel that you're quite well balanced, you may want to bring the hands back into prayer position in front of your heart. Push the shoulders back. If you want to deepen the posture a little bit more, on your next inhale, you can raise the arms all the way up above the head, keeping the hands in prayer posture. Keep pushing that right knee all the way back. Okay, take one more inhale. As you exhale, you can start to bring the arms down in front, the hands down in front of the heart, releasing the foot from the leg and placing the foot back on the floor. Okay, still moving with the right leg. We're going to step this right leg back into a warrior one with the left thigh bent. Still having the hands in front of the heart. Push the shoulders back. The right foot is turned out at a 45-degree angle, so the toes aren't facing forward, nor are they facing out to the side. They're halfway in between. And then you're bending into that left leg. Inhaling, starting to take the arms up above the head again. Step the right foot forward slightly, keep the bend in that left knee. And then on your next inhale, shoot the fingers up towards the ceiling as you take the right toes off the mat. And then if you want, as you exhale, you can start to lower the arms forward. Start to take the leg further back. If you don't want to lower too far forward or lift the leg too high, it's fine. Just to keep raised. Lifting the fingertips away from those toes. If you're able to come into the full warrior three, where you're bringing the leg and the arms parallel to the back, make sure you're still breathing. Your next inhale, come up vertical and step that right foot all the way back. Exhale as you take the arms down to the mat at the side. And then you're lowering your right knee down. You're taking your left knee back so it's in line with the right knee, and then step one leg back at a time to come into your plank, and we'll go through the vinyasa sequence. So exhale as you lower your knees. Untuck your toes, move the shoulders forward. Keep the elbows underneath the ribs and tucked in as you lower the chest and chin to the floor, slide forward onto the belly. Big inhale as you start to come up into your cobra. And then exhale as you move back into your child's pose. Reconnect into your breath in your child's pose. Take one more full breath, and then after that use your inhale to come up onto your knees, tucking your toes. Exhale as you're pushing the hips back towards the heels, and then your inhale as you come up into your downward dog again. On your next inhale, lift the head and the chin. As you exhale, walk the feet forward into your forward fold. Bend through the knees. Big inhale as you start to rise all the way up. Exhale as you take the arms out to the side. Inhale as you bring the hands up in front of the heart. And exhale as you drop your chin down. Inhaling, lifting the chin so it's parallel to the floor. Exhale as you bring your hands onto your hips. Start to bend into that right knee as you take your weight over that right leg. Again, looking at the spot at eye level in front of you. Turn your left knee out to the side as you take the foot off the floor, and then either pressing the left foot in towards the ankle, into the calf, or lifting the foot higher above the knee into the thigh or into the groin. Start to press the left knee back the way. Lift the chest up away from the belly button. Bring your focus back onto your breath. If you want, you can bring the hands in front of the heart. Press the shoulders back. Keep pushing that left knee back. If you want to take it further, inhale and start to raise the arms all the way up over the head. Holding here for a couple more breaths. If you need to keep putting that left foot down, that's absolutely fine. Just take your time and come back into the balance. Okay, then from here you can either step back into your warrior one, or you can start to bring the arms down and place the foot on the floor first. If you're stepping back, you're taking the left foot away from the right thigh or the right shin, and then you're stepping the foot back into your warrior one. You're bending through the right knee. The left foot is turned out to that 45-degree angle, so toes not facing the front of the mat or out to the side. Having the hands in front of the heart, lift the chest up away from the belly button, getting that extension. Inhale, start to stretch the arms up over the head. Step either straight into your warrior three, or you're stepping the left foot forward first and then lifting from there. Or if you want, you can just step all the way forward, coming onto that right foot, starting to lower the chest as you lift the leg, stretching the arms out to the front. If you don't want to come as low, that's fine. Just stretch the toes as far away from the fingertips as you can take them. So however deep you're going into the balance doesn't particularly matter, as long as you feel that you're getting the stretch between the fingertips and the toes. Okay, and your next inhale, start to come all the way up. Take a big step back with that left leg, so you're coming into your warrior two again, sorry, your warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands down to the side. You're lowering the left knee down. You're bringing the right knee back to meet it, and then stepping one leg back at a time, coming into your plank. Exhale as you lower your knees. Lift the hips high, chest and chin to the floor. Slide forward onto your belly. Nice big inhale as you come into your cobra. And then exhale back into your child's pose. Deepening your breath, try to release the tension through your exhale. Catch your breath by slowing the breath down. Trying to make the breath even so your inhales are the same length as your exhales. On your next inhale, start to come up high onto the knees, so you're lifting the hips away from the heels. And you're coming onto all fours, so you're bringing it so the hands are directly underneath the shoulders again, the knees are underneath the hips. Okay, you're going to leave the left hand on the floor. You're going to bring your right knee slightly more into the centre of the mat, so that's under your centre of gravity. And then you're going to extend that right leg back like we were doing towards the beginning, but this time we're going to raise the same arm off the mat. So you're stretching your right arm forward, and then you're going to take the right arm up towards the ceiling and open the body to the side. So the leg is parallel to the height of the hip. The arms are in one line, one directly underneath the left shoulder, one coming up to the ceiling from the right shoulder. You're extending the right leg back. A real extension to that right leg, so you're pushing the foot far away from the body as you can. You're lifting the right set of fingers as high to the ceiling as you can. One more inhale, and then as you exhale, turn the torso to the floor as you lower that right hand down. Lower the right knee down onto the mat, and then separate the knees so they're underneath the hips again. Just holding here in your tabletop pose with a neutral spine. Reconnect to your breath. And then start to move that right knee into the centre of the mat slightly. You're keeping the right hand on the mat as you extend the left leg back. Start to stretch that left arm out towards the front of the mat, and then take it up towards the ceiling as you open the body to the side. Start pushing the left set of toes away from the body. Push down into the ground with the right hand to try and create some height as you lift the left set of fingers up towards the ceiling. Keep holding here, trying to get maximum extension in the body. Pushing the foot away, lifting the fingers as far away as you can take them. Taking one more inhale, and then exhale as you turn the torso towards the floor again, bending through the knee, bringing the knee down to the mat, bringing the hand down to the mat, separating your knees wide. And then as you exhale, start to kneel back, so you're taking your hips onto your heels, walking your hands back and bringing your hands onto your thighs. And then bringing the knees slightly closer together. Bring the feet closer together. And we're going to do a stretch for the top of the feet. So taking the hands to the side of your hips, start to lift the knees up away from the ground. You can press the fingertips into the ground as you start to lift the knees up. Start to feel the stretch on the upper side of the foot. Keep lifting. And then exhale as you lower the knees down. Walk the hands forward, lift the hips away from the heels, then tuck the toes, and then again walk the hands back. So you're bringing your hips onto your heels, and the weight of the body is pressing down now into the toes, so you're feeling that you're getting a stretch on the foot from the other direction. Just continue to breathe. Okay, one more inhale. Walking the hands forward again to lift the hips away from the heels, untuck the toes. Walk the hands back so you're into kneeling position again. Inhale, start to lift the knees up away. You can either keep the hands here this time, or if you want, you can bring the hands in front of the heart into prayer position. Press the shoulders back. Another balance as you lift the knees up away from the ground. Take one more inhale, and then exhale as you lower the knees down. Bring the hands onto the mat, lift the hips up to be able to tuck the toes, and then again sitting back, pressing the top of the toes into the mat. Feel the stretch on the underside of the foot. Okay, then you can bring the hands forward again, untuck the toes. Drop your hips down to one side, and then you're coming into a seated position with the feet pressed, the soles of the feet pressed in towards each other, so butterfly pose. Now how close you have your heels towards your pelvic bone depends on how flexible your inner thighs are. If you find that when you come into the position that your knees are all the way up here, start to push the heels away from the body slightly so the knees can open a little bit more to the side. There may not be that much of a difference, but you'll certainly be more comfortable with the heels pushed further away. If you find that once you've got your knees out to the side, the legs come quite flat to the side, you can actually start to bring the heels a little bit closer. And then you're going to wrap your two peace fingers, so your index finger and your middle finger, around the big toe. And from there, just start to lift the chest up away from the belly button. Again, looking at a spot at eye level in front of you to hold your gaze. Start to tilt back the way, and as you do that, pull with your fingers, pull the toes towards the body. So the legs are now off the ground, you're sitting on your coccyx bone, and you're pulling the legs or the feet up towards the belly. Just holding in this balance, bring your focus back onto your breath. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, you can roll forward again, placing the feet back on the floor, letting the knees splay out to the side. You need to bounce the legs if there's any tension in either the knees or the inner thighs. Just a little bit of movement will help release that. Okay, and then we're going to go up into that balance again and also look at a slightly deeper version of the posture if you like. If you don't want to go into the deeper version of the posture, that's absolutely fine. Just stay with the one that we've done before. So inhaling, start to pull the feet off the floor. Start to lift the chest up away from the belly button, then hold here for a breath or two. And then if you want to try the more advanced stage of the posture, keep pulling the chest up away from the belly button to keep the back as straight as possible. Pull your core muscles in towards your spine. And then on your next inhale, you might want to extend the legs out to the side. Start to push the toes into your fingers as you pull the legs out straight to the side. Keep lifting the chest up away from the belly button so the spine is staying fully straight. You're pushing the toes into your fingers. At the same time, your fingers are pulling your toes back towards your body. Take another couple of breaths as you hold here. If you're getting tired and want to come out to it, just bring the soles of the feet back together again and bring them down to the floor. Otherwise, hold for one more full breath. One more inhale, and then as you exhale, start to bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet back together. Lower the feet down to the floor. Release the fingers from the toes, but just support the hands round the feet, and then just gently bounce the knees from side to side. Okay, then extend the legs out in front. And we're going to start to roll down onto the mat to come into our final resting position. So extending the legs straight out, big inhale as you sweep the arms up parallel to the floor, and then exhale as you curl the spine down onto the ground. Once you're lying flat on the floor, bend your knees so the feet are flat on the floor. Place the hands beside the hips, and then big inhale as you lift up into a bridge. Press the feet down into the floor as you lift the hips as high as you can. And a big exhale as you push the hips away from you towards the end of your mat. Start to lower the spine down onto the mat, pressing the lower back down into your mat before extending one leg at a time. Separating the legs, let the ankles drop to the side. As you take the arms away from the body, push your shoulders away from your ears to lengthen the neck. Dip your chin closer to your chest, let your eyes close. Take a big inhale, increase the tension in the body, press everything down to the ground. And then as you exhale, just let everything soften. None of the muscles should be active anymore. Just feel that the body is sinking down into the ground. And then taking a scan of the body, starting from your toes, work all the way up to your head. Make any adjustments that you need by releasing tension from muscles, by clenching and releasing the muscle a few times, or just bringing a bit of movement into a joint so it can find a more comfortable position to lie in. Remember not just to observe or examine the larger muscles, look at the smaller muscles as well. Muscles in your fingers, even your facial muscles, so the brow and the cheek and the jaw. Once you feel the body is fully relaxed, no muscles are active at all, you're lying as in a comfortable position as you possibly can. Start to turn your mind inward again to connect to your breath. Starting to deepen the breath. Feel the rise and the fall of the belly, the expansion and contraction of the rib cage. Start to slow your breath down. Feel the body lighten with energy as you draw the breath in. Feel the weight of the body sink down into the ground as you release the tension through the exhale. Use the rhythm of the breath to soothe the body and the mind. If you want to enjoy the relaxation phase for a while longer, just continue with your deep, slow breath, following the rhythm of the breath with your mind. You're ready to gradually come out of the relaxation. Start by letting your breath become more shallow with each breath that you take. So over the next 3 or 4 breaths, just gently allow the breath to soften, become more shallow. Eventually it comes back to its natural state where you're really only using the top area of the lungs, a nice shallow breath. As the breath is shallow and natural again, just observe the breath for a couple more breaths before bringing your focus into your physical body. As you turn your focus to your physical body, start to feel the areas of the body that have contact with the ground and feel the sensations that that causes in your physical body, where the weight of the body is pressing down into either the mat or the floor around your mat. Then starting to bring some very gentle movement into the body. Take as long as you need at each phase. Move into the stretches, but if you're still just gently moving your body, just stay at that phase for a little while longer. And only when you're ready do you move into the next phase of having the long stretch. So as you're stretching, you're inhaling, bringing the legs together, the arms up over the head. Big inhale as you stretch the fingers as far away from the toes. And as you release the stretch, you take a big exhale out through the mouth, have a sigh or a yawn, let the body fully relax again. Taking another big inhale as you stretch through the body. And again, as you exhale, let the body relax, the exhales out through the mouth. If you feel that you want to take another few stretches, you can, but if you're ready to move on to the next stage, then you're hugging one knee at a time into your chest, pressing the knees down into your chest. The stretch over the spine as you press the knees into the chest, and then start to massage the spine into the ground as you rock from side to side. And then after a period of rocking, you can roll over onto your left hand side, just lying on the mat in a fetal position. Again, staying at this phase for as long as you feel comfortable, as long as you want to relax. When you decide that you are ready to sit up, make sure that you come up very, very slowly to allow the body to adjust to being into an upright position. And then before standing up, again, you want the body just to acclimatise to being in an upright position. So stay seated at least for a few moments, if not longer. And then when you are ready, you can get up.